Welcome back to another video, Identifying Unknown Ionic Compounds Required Practical. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify the anions, carbonates, halides, and sulfates through chemical tests, identify metal ions using the flame test, and finally identify the ions of an ionic compound using chemical tests. Let's start off by carbonates test. Carbonates could be identified and tested by their reaction with dilute acids. When carbonates react with dilute acids, they will form carbon dioxide gas. Let's now observe how this experiment could be done in the lab. First of all, we are going to be using 5 different solutions. And we're going to be adding 1 centimeter depth of each solution into its appropriate test tube. So on the far left, we have sodium sulfate, then sodium carbonate, then sodium chloride, then sodium bromide, and sodium iodide. We have just labeled them using their metal ions. Now we are still adding the amount of solution there. Now we're going to be adding 1 centimeter depth of hydrochloric acid into each tube. When we add first in the sodium sulfate, there is no fizzing. However, in the second tube, there were fizzing. This is because of the carbon dioxide that has been given off. We can use lime water to test if there is carbon dioxide or not. As you can see, for the rest of the solutions, there is no fizzing because there is no gas that is being given off. So only the second tube, because it contains CO3₂-, which is the carbonate ion, formed the fizzing, which means it released the carbon dioxide gas due to the reaction that happened between the CO3₂- ions, the carbonate ions, and the hydrochloric acid solution. Here is another picture of what happened in the lab. This is a virtual picture. So this was the sodium carbonate that we have added in the tested tube, and this was the dilute hydrochloric acid. If we insert a small tunnel between the first tube and the second tube, you will allow the CO2 gas to travel, and if we put lime water here, the lime water will turn milky and white. This proves for us that this gas that is released is carbon dioxide gas.